Have you ever felt that your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be? Perhaps you find yourself searching for words more often, or maybe forgetting where you placed your keys. These small moments of mental fog can be unsettling. Many assume cognitive decline is an unavoidable part of getting older. Our brains, like our bodies, are said to slow down, shrink, and lose their edge over time. That narrative can feel disheartening, but what if that story is fundamentally flawed? What if the latest scientific research isn't just challenging it, but overturning it? We now have compelling evidence. Your brain does not have to slow down. Under the right conditions, it can become sharper, more focused, more resilient. The idea of the brain as a fixed, one-way decline is outdated. Modern neuroscience shows our brains can change and renew themselves. This concept is called neuroplasticity. This isn't wishful thinking, nor unproven brain games. It's about concrete, science-backed protocols that change your brain's structure and function. We're talking about the ability to grow new brain cells, forge stronger neural connections, and reduce inflammation that speeds aging. Not just halting, but actively reversing brain aging is now possible. It's an achievable reality through specific habits and lifestyle adjustments you can start today. The promise: a mind that remains quick, creative, and capable for life. Imagine waking up with mental clarity, confident you can learn new things, solve complex problems, and remember important information. This isn't about getting your 20s back. It's about cultivating the best possible brain for you, right now. In this guide, we'll explain the mechanisms and give a clear roadmap, turning science into everyday action. So, how do we actually achieve this? How do we translate the exciting promise of a younger brain into tangible results? The answer lies not in a single magic pill or a complicated, expensive procedure, but in a series of interconnected habits that work together to create a powerful, synergistic effect on your brain's health. The fastest way to reverse brain aging is simpler than you might think, but it does require intention and consistency. It involves a holistic approach that targets the fundamental systems responsible for maintaining and rejuvenating your neural hardware, from the cellular level on up. Over the course of this discussion, we are going to dissect the science of brain aging and its reversal piece by piece. First, we will uncover what actually happens to the brain as it ages, exploring the key changes that lead to cognitive decline, and importantly, why these changes are not permanent. Then, we will dive deep into the fascinating research that proves reversal is possible, examining powerful processes like neurogenesis and the role of mitochondrial health. We will look at specific high-impact interventions that have been shown to work quickly and effectively, giving you the tools you need to make a real difference. This journey is structured to give you a complete toolkit. We will move beyond the what and the why to focus squarely on the how. I will lay out the 7 most powerful habits you can adopt, providing clear, step-by-step instructions for each one. We will cover everything from specific types of physical exercise that maximize brain-derived neurotrophic factor, to sleep protocols that enhance memory consolidation, to dietary strategies that reduce brain inflammation. Think of this as your owner's manual for optimizing your cognitive function for the long haul. Ultimately, this guide will culminate in a straightforward 30-day action plan designed to help you integrate these habits into your daily life. This plan will break down the process into manageable weekly goals, making it easy to build momentum and see real progress in a short amount of time. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge and the practical steps to take control of your brain's destiny. You have the power to build a more resilient, youthful, and high-performing brain, and our journey to unlocking that potential starts right now. One of the most widely discussed changes that occurs in the brain with age is a gradual reduction in its overall volume, a phenomenon often referred to as brain shrinkage or atrophy. This isn't just a myth. Scientific imaging studies have confirmed, on average, the brain begins to decrease in size after our 30s or 40s. The process accelerates as we move into our 60s and beyond. This loss of volume is not uniform across the entire brain. Prefrontal cortex, hippocampus. This reduction in size is not simply about having a physically smaller brain. It reflects a loss of brain cells or neurons, as well as the connections between them. Think of it like a dense, thriving forest that slowly begins to thin out over the years. Some trees fall, and the intricate network of roots and branches that connect them starts to wither. This thinning process means there are fewer available pathways for information to travel and fewer cells to process that information. The result is a less efficient and less resilient neural network, which can manifest as difficulty with planning, organizing thoughts, and recalling recent events. The causes behind this structural change are multifaceted. A key contributor is a natural decline in the factors that support neuron growth and survival, such as brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. As BDNF levels decrease with age, the brain's ability to repair itself and maintain its cellular infrastructure weakens. Chronic stress, poor cardiovascular health, and a sedentary lifestyle can all exacerbate this process by reducing blood flow to the brain, depriving it of essential oxygen and nutrients. The shrinking of these vital brain regions is a physical manifestation of the challenges our brains face as we get older. However, and this is a crucial point we will return to again and again, this process of atrophy is not an irreversible destiny. We now know that specific activities, particularly aerobic exercise, can directly counteract this volume loss by boosting BDNF and promoting the growth of new neurons. The idea that we are passive victims of brain shrinkage is an outdated one. We have the power to influence the physical structure of our brains, preserving its volume, and by extension, its function for years to come. Beyond the physical shrinkage of the brain, another fundamental change with age is a noticeable slowing of processing speed. You might experience this as a slight delay in recalling a name, a longer time needed to solve a mental math problem, or a general feeling that your thoughts aren't moving as quickly. This isn't your imagination. It's a measurable physiological change in how neurons communicate. Electrical signals that carry information throughout your brain don't travel with the same velocity as in youth, which leads to a lag in cognitive function. This slowdown is largely due to changes in myelin. Myelin is a fatty substance forming a protective sheath around the long connecting arms of neurons, the axons. Think of it as insulation around an electrical wire. The myelin sheath is essential for fast, efficient signal transmission. It lets electrical impulses jump rapidly along the axon, instead of slowly traveling the whole length. With age, myelin can degrade or become thinner. When insulation is compromised, signals leak and slow, making communication between brain regions less efficient. The consequences can be far-reaching. It affects our reaction time. It affects our ability to multitask. A sluggish internal messaging system makes switching attention between activities harder and processing complex information in real time more difficult. That's why an older person might struggle to follow a fast-paced conversation in a noisy room or react quickly while driving. It's not usually a drop in understanding or intelligence, but a delay in receiving, processing, and responding. The good news, myelin integrity isn't a one-way street toward degradation. Research shows we can protect and even help repair myelin. Lifestyle factors play a huge role. Engaging in novel, challenging mental activities can stimulate cells that produce myelin. Getting adequate deep sleep is critical. That's when much of the brain's cellular repair, including myelin maintenance, happens. A diet rich in healthy fats, like omega-3 fatty acids, supplies essential building blocks to maintain these insulating sheaths and helps keep your brain's communication network running at top speed. Perhaps the most profound change that has historically been associated with brain aging is a reduction in neuroplasticity, you know? Neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. It is the very mechanism that allows you to learn a new skill, form a new memory, or adapt to a new environment. A highly plastic brain is like soft clay, easily molded and reshaped by experience. In our youth, our brains are exceptionally plastic, which is why children can learn languages and new skills with such remarkable speed. As we age, this clay can begin to harden, making it more difficult to change our ways. This decrease in plasticity means that learning new things can feel more challenging. It might take more repetition to master a new software program, more effort to learn the rules of a new game, or more time to become proficient at playing a musical instrument. This isn't because you've lost the capacity to learn, but because the underlying biological machinery that facilitates learning is less responsive. the brain becomes more set in its ways, preferring to rely on well-worn neural pathways rather than forging new ones. This can lead to a sense of cognitive rigidity, where we feel less adaptable and less open to new experiences. The biological reasons for this decline in plasticity are complex. It involves changes in the levels of various neurotransmitters and growth factors that facilitate the strengthening and weakening of synapses, the tiny gaps across which neurons communicate. For a new connection to form, a synapse must be strengthened, a process that requires a specific chemical environment. As we age, the availability of these key chemicals can diminish, making it harder for the brain to lock in new learning. This is compounded by the fact that we often fall into routines, reducing our exposure to the novel and challenging stimuli that are the primary drivers of plasticity. However, the modern understanding of neuroplasticity has brought a revolutionary insight. It never completely disappears. While it may decline, the brain retains the capacity for change throughout our entire lives, provided we give it the right stimulus. The key is to intentionally engage in activities that demand focus and effort. Learning a new language, picking up a complex instrument, or even navigating an unfamiliar city forces your brain to build new pathways. This deliberate effort signals to your brain that it needs to become more malleable again. By embracing novelty and challenging ourselves mentally, we can directly combat the hardening of our cognitive clay and keep our brains adaptable and ready to learn for years to come. While structural changes and slowing communication are key aspects of brain aging, there is another, more insidious process at play: chronic, low-grade inflammation. When you hear the word inflammation, you might think of the redness and swelling that occurs when you sprain your ankle. This is acute inflammation, a healthy and necessary immune response to injury. However, the brain can experience a different kind of inflammation, one that is widespread, persistent, and low-level. Often called inflammaging, this simmering fire within the brain is now recognized as one of the primary drivers of cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases. This chronic inflammation is caused by a variety of factors that accumulate over a lifetime. A diet high in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats can promote an inflammatory state throughout the body, including the brain. Chronic stress is another major contributor, as the constant release of the stress hormone cortisol can trigger inflammatory pathways. Lack of quality sleep is also a culprit, as the brain's glymphatic system, its waste clearance mechanism, is most active during deep sleep. When we don't get enough restorative sleep, inflammatory byproducts and cellular debris are not effectively cleared out, contributing to a toxic, inflamed environment. In the brain, this persistent inflammation has devastating effects. It damages neurons, disrupts synaptic function, and can even impair the formation of new brain cells. The brain's own immune cells, known as microglia, can become chronically activated. In a healthy state, microglia act as the brain's housekeepers, cleaning up waste and protecting against pathogens. But in a state of chronic inflammation, they become overactive and start releasing a cascade of inflammatory chemicals that can cause collateral damage to healthy neurons. This self-perpetuating cycle of inflammation can accelerate brain aging and significantly increase the risk for conditions like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. The encouraging news is that inflammation is something we have a remarkable amount of control over. It is highly responsive to our daily habits and choices. Shifting to an anti-inflammatory diet, such as the Mediterranean diet, which is rich in fruits, vegetables, fish, and healthy fats, can dramatically lower inflammatory markers. Regular physical exercise is a potent anti-inflammatory agent. Stress reduction techniques like mindfulness meditation and deep breathing can help calm the nervous system and dial down the inflammatory response. By actively working to extinguish this internal fire, we can protect our brains from one of the most significant threats of aging and preserve our cognitive health for the long term. Let's put all of this science into a real-world context with a short story. Consider Maria, a vibrant 72-year-old retired librarian. For most of her life, Maria was known for her razor-sharp memory and quick wit. She could recall obscure literary quotes on command and delighted in solving the Sunday crossword puzzle in record time. But over the past few years, she started noticing subtle but persistent changes. It began with misplacing her reading glasses more frequently. Then, she found herself standing in the middle of the grocery store, unable to remember the one key ingredient she came for. These moments were frustrating and, frankly, a little frightening. The changes weren't just about memory. Conversations with her grandchildren felt more strenuous. She struggled to keep up with their fast-paced stories and the slang they used, feeling a step behind. What used to be an effortless joy now felt like a mental workout. Maria felt her world shrinking. She started turning down invitations to book club meetings because she was worried she wouldn't have anything insightful to contribute. Or worse, that she would forget an author's name mid-sentence. She was experiencing the real-life impact of a slowing brain, a less plastic brain, and a more inflamed brain. The confidence she once had in her own mind was beginning to erode. Maria's doctor told her that these changes were just a normal part of getting older, a phrase that offered little comfort and no solutions. She felt a sense of resignation, believing she was on an unchangeable path toward further decline. Her story is a perfect illustration of the concepts we've just discussed. The word-finding difficulties pointed to slower neural communication. The struggle to learn new slang from her grandchildren showed a reduction in neuroplasticity. Her overall feeling of mental fog and fatigue was likely exacerbated by the low-grade inflammation that often accompanies a more sedentary, routine-based lifestyle in later years. But Maria's story doesn't have to end there, and neither does yours. What Maria and so many others like her often don't realize is that these changes are not a fixed sentence. They are signals, a call to action from a brain that needs a different kind of support. The very existence of brain shrinkage, slowed connections, and reduced plasticity points to biological processes that can be influenced. Maria's experience of decline is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of a journey. It highlights the urgent need for a new approach, one that recognizes these changes not as inevitable, but as reversible targets for intervention. The idea that the adult brain is a fixed, unchangeable organ is perhaps the most damaging myth in all of neuroscience. The truth is far more exciting. Your brain possesses a remarkable quality known as neuroplasticity, which is its ability to reorganize its structure, its function, and its connections in response to your experiences. Think of it as a dynamic, living electrical grid that is constantly rewiring itself. Every time you learn something new, or practice a skill, or even have a novel thought, you are physically changing your brain. This process isn't limited to childhood. It continues throughout your life, powering adaptation, recovery, and growth. This capacity for change is why reversing brain aging is possible. Cognitive decline often means a brain that's less plastic, more rigid, and stuck in old patterns. The key to rejuvenation is intentionally engaging plasticity. Give the right stimuli and you're telling your brain to become flexible again. When you focus intensely on learning a new skill, chemicals like acetylcholine are released in specific brain areas. That chemical acts like a spotlight, highlighting the exact neural circuits active during the task. Spotlighting makes those synapses, the connections between neurons, more amenable to change. Then, during deep rest and sleep, processes occur that solidify those changes, making connections more permanent. It's a two-part process. Intense focus initiates potential change, and deep rest locks it in. That's the biological basis for learning and memory. One study from the University of Hamburg showed this clearly. Researchers taught participants to juggle for 3 months. Brain scans before and after training showed increased gray matter in areas for visual and motor processing. Their brains had physically changed for the new skill. When participants stopped juggling, those changes began to fade. Plasticity is a use-it-or-lose-it phenomenon. To keep your brain young and adaptable, you must keep giving it challenging input to keep rewiring itself. For decades, it was scientific dogma that we are born with all the brain cells we will ever have. The idea that an adult could grow new neurons was considered heresy. We now know this is completely false. The process of creating new neurons, known as neurogenesis, occurs in at least 2 key areas of the adult brain: the olfactory bulb related to smell, and, most importantly, the hippocampus. The hippocampus is a region absolutely critical for learning, memory formation, and mood regulation, the very area that is often one of the first to shrink in age-related cognitive decline. The fact that we can generate new cells here is a revolutionary discovery. These newborn neurons are like fresh recruits in an experienced army. They are highly excitable and more plastic than older, more established neurons, meaning they are exceptionally good at forming new connections. This influx of new cells provides the hippocampus with a constant supply of raw material for encoding new memories and experiences. When you have robust neurogenesis, your brain is better equipped to learn and adapt. A decline in the rate of neurogenesis, on the other hand, has been directly linked to memory impairment and mood disorders like depression. Therefore, stimulating this process is a direct and powerful way to combat key aspects of brain aging. What then determines the rate at which we grow these new brain cells? The science points to a few powerful levers that we can control. The single most effective stimulus for adult neurogenesis is vigorous physical activity, especially aerobic exercise like running or cycling. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain and, critically, triggers the release of a miracle-grow-like protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. BDNF acts as a potent fertilizer for the brain, promoting the survival, growth, and integration of these newborn neurons. A landmark study from the Salk Institute for Biological Studies provides a clear example. Scientists found that mice given access to running wheels had significantly higher rates of neurogenesis in their hippocampi compared to sedentary counterparts. These active mice also performed much better on memory tasks. The link was direct. More running led to more new neurons, which in turn led to better memory. This research, replicated and expanded in humans, gives us a clear directive. If you want to literally build a younger brain by growing new cells, consistent and challenging physical exercise is not optional. It is essential. Deep inside almost every one of your cells, including your brain cells, are tiny power plants called mitochondria. These organelles are responsible for converting the food you eat and the air you breathe into ATP. Your brain is energy hungry. It consumes about 20% of your body's energy despite being just 2% of your weight. Mitochondrial health is therefore crucial for optimal brain function. When mitochondria work well, your brain has the fuel for sharp, clear thinking. Unfortunately, mitochondrial function declines with age. Over time, mitochondria can be damaged by oxidative stress, a kind of cellular rust caused by free radicals. That damage reduces their energy output. A neuron with failing mitochondria is like a factory with a failing power grid. That energy shortfall causes cognitive slowing, mental fatigue, and greater vulnerability to cellular damage and death. Mitochondria affect more than energy. They are key for signaling and for cell survival. Healthy mitochondria regulate calcium balance in neurons, essential for synaptic transmission. They're also involved in initiating apoptosis, clearing out damaged cells. When mitochondria fail, these systems go haywire, accelerating cellular aging. To reverse brain aging, focus on strategies that protect, repair, and generate new, healthy mitochondria. Lifestyle choices like intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, and exercise, particularly high-intensity interval training, have a big impact. They can trigger mitophagy, selective removal and recycling of damaged mitochondria. It signals the body to produce more mitochondria through mitochondrial biogenesis. A diet rich in antioxidants from colorful fruits and vegetables helps shield mitochondria from oxidative damage. A cell metabolism study found HIT reversed age-related mitochondrial decline in older adults, showing we can rejuvenate our cellular engines. It is tempting to look at neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, mitochondrial health, and inflammation control as separate, isolated processes. However, the reality is that they are deeply interconnected, working together like instruments in a symphony. The health and function of one system directly influences all the others. A truly effective approach to reversing brain aging doesn't just target one of these mechanisms. It creates a positive feedback loop where improvements in one area cascade to create benefits in another, leading to a powerful holistic rejuvenation of the entire brain. Consider the simple act of going for a brisk run. This single activity sets off a remarkable chain reaction. The aerobic exercise stimulates the release of BDNF, which directly promotes neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons, and it promotes neuroplasticity, the formation of new connections. At the same time, the physical exertion challenges your mitochondria, signaling them to become more efficient and to multiply, boosting your brain's overall energy supply. This same bout of exercise has an immediate anti-inflammatory effect, helping to calm the microglia and reduce the toxic fire within the brain. Now, let's add another element. A post-exercise meal rich in omega-3s and antioxidants, like a piece of salmon with a large salad. That meal provides raw materials for building new cell membranes and for forming myelin sheaths. It supports plasticity and supports neurogenesis. The antioxidants in the salad protect your newly robust mitochondria from oxidative damage, preserving their energy-producing capacity. The meal also helps reduce inflammation, complementing exercise. One healthy habit synergistically enhances another, creating a result greater than the sum of its parts. This symphony of rejuvenation culminates during a night of deep, restorative sleep. During sleep, the brain consolidates new learning from the day, locking in the plastic changes you initiated. It's also when the glymphatic system is most active, washing away inflammatory debris and metabolic waste. That cleanup keeps the environment healthy for new neurons and efficient mitochondria. By understanding this interplay, we can move from random brain hacks to a coherent science-backed strategy, where every habit works in concert to create a profoundly healthier, younger-feeling brain. Section 1. Move smart. High-intensity interval training for rapid results. If you had to choose just one intervention to start with for the fastest possible impact on your brain health, it would be a specific form of physical exercise. While all movement is beneficial, HIIT stands out for its remarkable efficiency and power. HIIT involves short bursts of all-out intense effort followed by brief periods of rest or lower-intensity recovery. This pattern is uniquely effective at triggering the biological cascades that rejuvenate the brain. It dramatically increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, the key protein that drives neurogenesis and plasticity. The beauty of HIIT lies in its time efficiency. You can get more brain-boosting benefit in a 20-minute HIIT session than in much longer steady-state cardio. The intense bursts create a powerful metabolic demand that forces adaptation. HIIT enhances mitochondrial function. Mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new cellular power plants, is strongly stimulated by HIIT. That promotes new neuron growth and upgrades energy supply for your neural network, leading to improved mental clarity and reduced fatigue quickly. So, how do you implement this? The protocol is simple and adaptable to many cardio forms: running, cycling, rowing, or even jumping jacks. Start with a 3 to 5 minute warm-up. Go as hard as you can for 30 to 60 seconds. This should be an all-out effort, pushing your heart rate up. Follow with 60 to 90 seconds of active recovery, very slow walking or gentle pedaling. Repeat for 8 to 12 rounds. The core workout takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Do this 2 to 3 times per week on non-consecutive days for recovery. Many feel more alert and focused immediately after HIIT, thanks to surges in neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine. Within 4 to 6 weeks, you can see measurable cognitive gains in executive control and memory. This is a physiological transformation, not just a feeling. Short bursts of intense effort are one of the most powerful, time-effective tools to rapidly reverse key metrics of brain aging. Section 2. Think hard. The power of focused cognitive training. While physical exercise powerfully prepares the brain for change, the change itself is directed by how you use your mind. This is where focused cognitive training comes in. This is not about playing simple, repetitive brain games on your phone, which often lead to getting better at the game itself but little else. True cognitive training involves engaging in activities that are novel, challenging, and require your full, undivided attention. The goal is to push yourself just beyond your current cognitive comfort zone, triggering neuroplasticity and forcing your brain to build new, more efficient neural pathways. Choose activities that demand high focus and are genuinely difficult for you. Learning a new language is a fantastic form of cognitive training because it involves multiple brain systems: auditory processing, memory, and grammatical rule-based thinking. Learning to play a musical instrument is an excellent choice. Motor skills, auditory perception, and memory work together. Dedicate 20 to 30 minutes each day to focused learning. Pick one skill you truly care about. This intrinsic motivation helps you persist. During this time, eliminate distractions, put your phone in another room, turn off notifications, create a quiet environment, aim for deep focus and immersion. When you feel yourself struggling or making mistakes, that is a good sign. This frustration is the feeling of your brain being forced to work in a new way. It is the friction that generates the heat of plastic change. Expect direct improvements in the cognitive functions you are training, as well as broader benefits. Within a few weeks, your ability to concentrate for longer periods will likely improve. Your working memory may feel sharper. In 1 to 2 months, benefits can generalize: quicker thinking and better problem solving. Consistently challenge your brain with difficult, focused tasks to build a more resilient, adaptable mind at any age. Section 3. Sleep deep. The ultimate brain restoration protocol. You can exercise and learn all you want, but if you are not getting sufficient, high-quality sleep, you are undermining all your efforts. Sleep is not a passive state of rest. It is an active and essential period of brain maintenance, cleaning, and memory consolidation. During the day, your brain builds up metabolic waste products, including inflammatory proteins like beta amyloid. At night, particularly during deep sleep, the brain's glymphatic system kicks into high gear. This is a network of channels that flushes these toxins out of the brain, effectively giving your brain a deep clean every single night. Beyond cleaning, sleep is absolutely critical for locking in the learning and plastic changes you initiated during the day. While focused effort during the day primes the brain for change, it is during deep sleep and REM sleep that these changes are made permanent. The brain replays the neural activity patterns from the day's learning, strengthening the new synaptic connections you formed. Without adequate sleep, these nascent connections can fade away, and your hard work learning a new skill will be largely wasted. Quality sleep is the glue that makes learning stick. It is the non-negotiable foundation upon which all other brain health interventions are built. To optimize your sleep, the most important step is to establish a strict and consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps to anchor your body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm, which regulates the release of hormones like melatonin, which promotes sleep, and cortisol, which promotes wakefulness. Your brain thrives on this regularity. In the 60 to 90 minutes before your designated bedtime, begin a wind-down routine. This means turning off all screens, phones, tablets, TVs, as the blue light they emit can suppress melatonin production and trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Instead, engage in relaxing activities. Read a physical book, take a warm bath or shower, listen to calming music, or practice gentle stretching. Ensure your bedroom is a sanctuary for sleep, cool, dark, and quiet. The optimal temperature for sleep is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius. Use blackout curtains and an eye mask to block out all light, and consider earplugs or a white noise machine to mask disruptive sounds. By creating this consistent routine and optimal environment, you can dramatically improve your sleep quality within days, leading to better memory, mood, and mental clarity almost immediately. Section 1. Week 1. Foundations of Movement and Sleep. Welcome to your 30-day plan to jumpstart the reversal of brain aging. The goal of this first week is to lay the two most critical foundations: smart movement and deep sleep. These two pillars provide the fastest and most profound biological shifts, preparing your brain for the changes to come. For the next 7 days, your focus will be singular. Establish a consistent routine for exercise and sleep. Your primary action: incorporate high-intensity interval training, HIIT. On days 1, 3, and 5, schedule a 20-minute exercise session. Start with a 5-minute light cardio warm-up. Perform 30 seconds of all-out effort, sprinting, cycling hard, or fast, jumping jacks. Follow with 90 seconds of slow recovery. Repeat the cycle 6 to 8 times. On days 2, 4, 6, and 7, do 30 minutes of low-intensity activity, preferably a brisk morning walk outdoors to get sunlight and anchor your circadian rhythm. Implement a strict sleep protocol simultaneously. Starting day 1, set a fixed bedtime and wake-up time every day, including weekends. Consistency is paramount. Create a non-negotiable digital sunset 90 minutes before bedtime. Turn off all screens, phones, tablets, computers, televisions. Use the time to read a physical book, take a warm bath, stretch, or listen to calming music. By the end of week 1, you should start to notice a difference. Intense exercise plus high-quality sleep will likely leave you more energetic and mentally alert. Brain fog may lift and focus may sharpen. You are building the groundwork for accelerated cognitive enhancements in the weeks ahead. Section 2, Week 2, Integrating Focused Learning and Clean Eating. Now that you have established a solid foundation of movement and sleep, Week 2 is about adding 2 more powerful layers: focused cognitive training and clean eating. Your schedule from Week 1 remains, but now we will strategically insert these new habits into your day. Continue your HIIT workouts and low-intensity movement. The new addition this week is a daily 20-minute session of hard thinking. Choose a mentally demanding skill you want to learn, such as a new language with an app, a musical instrument with an online tutorial, or a complex board game like chess. Schedule this 20-minute block at a time when you feel most alert. During this period, you must eliminate all distractions. The goal is to achieve deep, uninterrupted focus. When you feel frustration or difficulty, embrace it. That is the sensation of neuroplasticity in action, your brain actively rewiring itself. This week also marks the start of your dietary overhaul. We will implement 2 principles: the Mediterranean diet pattern and an 8-hour time-restricted eating window. Consume calories between, for example, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Outside of this window, you will only have water, black coffee, or unsweetened tea. Within your eating window, focus on eliminating processed foods and sugar. Add in brain-healthy foods, leafy greens, nuts or seeds, and a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado each day. Try to have fatty fish, like salmon, at least twice this week. By the end of week 2, you are engaging in a powerful 4-part symphony for brain health. The combination of exercise, sleep, focused learning, and clean eating creates a potent synergistic effect. You might notice quicker memory recall and improved sustained concentration during learning sessions. You are now providing your brain with the stimulus to change, the rest to consolidate those changes, and the precise building blocks it needs to repair and grow. Section 3, Weeks 3 and 4, Synergy, Consistency, Tracking Progress. In the final 2 weeks of this 30-day plan, your primary goal is to foster consistency. Refine the core interventions and make them effortless. During weeks 3 and 4, continue with the established schedule. HIIT 3 times a week. Daily focused learning. A consistent 8-hour eating window with Mediterranean-style foods. Your non-negotiable sleep routine. This is also the time to introduce the final habit. Daily stress reduction. It doesn't need to be long. Incorporate a 5 to 10 minute daily mindfulness practice, or a 5 to 10 minute breathing exercise. Find a quiet spot each morning and focus solely on your breath for 5 minutes. Practice the physiological sigh. 2 sharp inhales through the nose, then 1 long exhale through the mouth. Repeat 3 to 5 times whenever you feel stressed. To maintain motivation, start a simple daily tracking journal. At the end of each day, rate your perceived sleep quality. Rate your ability to focus during your learning session. Rate your overall energy level. This active measurement keeps you accountable and provides concrete evidence of improvement. As you conclude your 30 days, you should feel a significant shift. Your mind should feel sharper, your memory more reliable, and your mental energy more abundant. You've implemented a comprehensive, science-backed protocol to reverse key indicators of brain aging. This wasn't a quick fix, it's a sustainable lifestyle supporting a youthful brain. With every healthy meal, every workout, and every good night's sleep, you're investing in your most valuable asset. Section 1. The power to remodel your mind. We began this journey by challenging a long-held and deeply discouraging belief that the decline of our mental faculties is an inevitable consequence of aging. We have systematically dismantled this myth, replacing it with a new, empowering narrative grounded in modern neuroscience. The core promise we explored was that your brain does not have to slow down. It possesses a remarkable, lifelong capacity for renewal, growth, enhanced performance, neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, mitochondrial health, inflammation control. You have gained insight into the very processes that govern your brain's destiny. This knowledge is not merely academic. It is the key that unlocks your ability to take direct and deliberate control over your cognitive future. Maria, feeling the fog of cognitive decline, a poignant reminder of what's at stake. Also the starting point for a journey of reversal, not resignation. The science is clear. Change is possible. The power to initiate this change lies in a handful of potent, science-backed habits. High-intensity interval training, focused cognitive training, deep sleep, Mediterranean diet combined with time-restricted eating. These are precise tools designed to target the fundamental biological systems of brain health. You are the architect of your brain's structure and function. By consistently engaging in these targeted habits, you are actively sending signals to your brain to grow new cells, forge stronger connections, improve its energy supply, and extinguish the fires of inflammation. You hold the power to remodel your mind. Section 2. Your journey to a younger brain starts now. The conclusion of this guide is, in reality, a beginning. It is the starting line for your own personal journey toward a sharper brain, toward a more resilient brain, toward a more youthful brain. Let's restate the strongest, fastest actions. Prioritize 2 to 3 sessions of high-intensity interval training each week to flood your brain with growth factors. Dedicate 20 to 30 minutes every day to focused, difficult learning to drive neuroplasticity. And above all, guard your sleep with absolute discipline. Because it is during this critical period that your brain cleans, it repairs, it consolidates your hard work. These 3 pillars form the core, supported by an anti-inflammatory diet. If you do nothing else, focus here for the biggest, fastest returns. Your immediate call to action is simple. Commit to the 30-day plan. Don't just read it, implement it. Save this guide so you can refer back to the specific protocols and the weekly schedule. Print out the plan and put it somewhere you will see it every day. This simple act of making your intention visible can dramatically increase your chances of success. Start tracking your progress from day 1. The momentum you build in these first 30 days will create a positive feedback loop. Feeling sharper and more energetic will motivate you to continue those habits. Join our community to keep learning science-backed tools to optimize mind and body. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. And crucially, turn on your notifications so you don't miss future guides. Your journey to a younger, more powerful brain isn't one you have to take alone. Let's continue to explore the science of human optimization together. Start today.